The heat was a living thing. It pressed against my skin like a hot, wet blanket, soaking into the layers of my dress, turning the silk damp and heavy. 10 minutes had passed. It felt like 10 years. Silas had abandoned his dignity 5 minutes ago. His heavy plate armor lay in a discarded heap in the corner, clanking loudly as he stripped it off piece by piece. He was now down to his chainmail and the padded gambeson beneath, and even that was soaked through. I sat on the edge of the sofa, fanning myself with a first edition of the scandals of the incorrigible Viscount Asterisk, trying desperately to ignore the way the damp fabric of Silas's undershirt clung to the muscles of his back as he prowled the perimeter of our cage. "It's a kinetic barrier," he grunted, testing the window again. He struck it with his gauntleted fist. The glass didn't shatter. It absorbed the blow, rippling like water, and threw him backward. He landed hard, sliding across the carpet to my feet. He groaned, a sound of pain that cut through my carefully constructed apathy. "Silas," I leaned forward, instinctively reaching out. "Don't," he bit out, pushing himself up to a sitting position. He leaned his back against the sofa, right between my legs. His head fell back, resting near my knee. He was breathing hard, his chest heaving. "Save your energy. The heat, it drains stamina first, then consciousness." He was right. The air was becoming thin, metallic. My head pounded, but unlike him, my body was conditioned for extremes. I had traversed the volcanic ridges of the dragon's spine just to find a specific type of tea leaf. I had meditated in the frozen waterfalls of the north to avoid a tea party with my aunt. This heat was uncomfortable, yes, but for an SS+ rank adventurer, it was merely a warm bath. For Silas, however, it was lethal. I looked down at him. The commander of the guard, the man who was supposed to be my jailer, my watcher, was fading. His skin was flushed a dangerous shade of red, and beads of sweat dripped from his jaw, landing on the carpet. "Take off the gambeson," I commanded softly. He cracked one eye open, looking up at me from his position on the floor. His gaze was hazy, drunk on heat and exhaustion. "Is that an order, Your Highness?" "It is a medical necessity, you stubborn mule. You are overheating." He let out a dry, broken laugh. "If I take this off, I have no protection. If the wards escalate to lightning or blades. If you pass out, you cannot protect me anyway." His jaw tightened. Slowly, with trembling hands, he began to undo the laces of his padded jacket. It was a slow, agonizing striptease born of survival. When he finally shrugged the heavy material off, throwing it aside, I had to bite the inside of my cheek. Beneath the padding, he wore a thin, sleeveless linen undershirt that was practically translucent with sweat. His arms were corded with muscle, mapped with old scars, tokens of a life spent shielding my family, shielding me asterisk. He slumped back against the sofa, his bare arm brushing against my ankle. The contact sent a jolt of electricity through me that had nothing to do with the magical wards. "Why won't you just break it?" he murmured, his eyes slipping shut, his voice was slurring. "I know you can. I watched you 2 years ago in the courtyard. You thought no one was looking. You cut a falling raindrop in half, not with a sword, with a asterisk twig asterisk." I froze. He had known. All this time he had known. "Silas," I whispered. "I didn't tell anyone," he rasped, his head lolling to the side to rest against my calf. His skin was burning hot. "I wanted to know why you hide. You could be a legend, a queen of war." "I don't want to be a queen of war," I said, my voice trembling. "I want to read, I want to eat cake, I want peace." "And yet," he whispered, shifting so his cheek pressed intimately against my leg, seeking the coolness of my silk stockings, "chaos follows you, and I follow the chaos, just to be near you." My breath hitched. The heat in the room seemed to spike, but this time the fire originated in my chest. "Silas, you are delirious." "Maybe," he turned his face inward, pressing a kiss to the side of my knee through the fabric. It was a worshipful, desperate gesture. "But I'm not blind. The wards, they aren't just heat, Juliette. They're monosiphons. They feed on agitation, desire, fear." He looked up at me then, his gray eyes blown wide, dark with a hunger that terrified me. "And right now," he groaned, reaching up to grip my hand, his calloused palm rough against my skin, "I am terrified I'm going to die without tasting the truth of you." The room hummed louder, the red light pulsed faster, matching the erratic rhythm of his heart and mine.
Want to keep the flame ignited without having to wait for the next part? You can find the full tantalizing tale on our main page. See the link in the description.